Hello everyone. So today I want to talk about the two strongest weapons in the current patch, why they're so good, what I feel should be changed about them, and basically what will happen going forward. So without a doubt in my mind right now, I know the two strongest weapons in this patch. And the first one is more obvious one, which is what we're going to start with, which is the mini splatling. Even with no run speed, the mini splatling is very fast. With 3 to 4 mains worth, you are skating across the map. And it just makes it incredibly hard to hit the mini, which is super strong for it. Main power also gives you the ability to increase the amount of time you are firing after a charge up to 35% worth, which is a pretty good main power effect. And the kit is really good. Being able to farm out missiles even with 210 points for special can be really helpful for teams to push in, especially for a midliner, and burst bombs allows it to not only midline, but turn aggressive very easily, because once you hit a burst bomb you just need like 2 shots or 3 shots. Like, a medium burst bomb and 2 shots does 99 damage. So if they're weak at all, which they probably will be since you just burst bomb, you will kill them. And if you get a direct, it's like 1 or 2 shots. Like, in general, it's just super easy to kill from the burst bomb. Like, if I were to see someone do a brook, I can just burst bomb shoot them. Like, I can outmaneuver dualies, I can outmaneuver shooters. I have more range than them anyway, so I can close the gap easily. I have a kit that allows me to have a really good pokeable sub that increases the kill time dramatically. Like, it paints super well, it can be both midline and aggressive, it just does so many things right. And yeah, specifically the vanilla mini splatling, I don't think the others are really that broken. Really just the kit allows mini to abuse its strength super well. So, what I would like them to do to it is increase the amount of ink consumption a charge takes. As you can see, you get a lot of charges with the mini splatling. It's really easy to just like paint a bunch. So, nerfing it by about 10 to 15% would do a few things. First of all, its insane painting capability would be toned down a bit, kind of like Explosher, to where its paint is still insane, but it will run out of ink faster, so you can wait it out if you can hold it. The second thing it'll do is it'll make burst comboing a lot harder. So, after one burst bomb, you still get about 4 charges worth, I believe? Yeah, 4 charges worth. So now it could take like 3 or 2 charges, and if you use 2 burst bombs, you'll basically not even get a second charge, or just not even the first one maybe. So increasing the amount of ink consumption that a charge takes would definitely make it able to take advantage of burst bomb combos a lot less, and it'd reduce its painting capability. That combined with 210 would make its missile use much more reasonable. So that's what I think they should do to this. Overall, 20 extra points for special just really does not mean that much for a weapon that's already this good. And I think this is probably better than the second weapon I'm going to mention, but I'll get into that. So, the second weapon I'm going to talk about actually was already pretty good, but I feel this patch, like, buffed it in reality, even though people think it's just, like, a tiny bit worse. And that weapon is my least favorite weapon in the game, the Kensa Undercover Umbrella. Oh boy, this weapon again. Now, they made it 190, which means horseshit, like, literally nothing. That is, like, nothing for this weapon. But what they did change is last-ditch effort. So, if you don't know, and if you have never seen or played against an undercover player before, this right here is generally their adaptive playstyle. This is what they do the vast majority of the game, with a little bit of this, I guess. And then do that, and you throw more torpedoes. So last-ditch effort, what they did is when the objective is past 50, it will activate, though just not all of it. I'm not sure the exact amount, but regardless, last-ditch effort boosts ink recovery up, ink saver sub, and ink saver main. Ink saver main might not seem as relevant, but it can paint for longer and it can just shoot after torpedo. Now, Kensa Undercover Umbrella players already basically run a fuckload of ink saver sub, a main of ink recovery up, and a few subs of ink saver main on their build, along with a little bit of charge up. That's pretty much basic Kensa Undercover build for you. Now, with last-ditch effort, at full effect, it gives 8 additional subs of Ink Saver Main, Ink Saver Sub, and Ink Recovery up. With a little bit of last-ditch effort active, it can spam torpedoes better than before by a good margin. With max, it's crazy how much more torpedoes you can throw. And that just makes it insane how much pressure it can constantly be putting with a sub, because it can basically throw them every second, and you have to deal with it constantly, and then it's painting for armor, and then they push it with armor. On top of that, Undercover is versatile, because it can still paint well, it can ride tower, it can mini shield your teammates, you can pair it with people. Like, it can do fucking everything a support player would want it to do. And it can win 1v1s, because you just throw this, and then shoot, and then they fucking lose. Because once you get Torpedo behind them, they have nothing they can do. It's fucking dumb. Like, the weapon, just overall, the kit completely breaks what's otherwise a horrible main weapon. So, changing this is more difficult, but here's what I feel they should do. Inksaber Sub is less effective on Fizzy Bomb than it is on Torpedo. As in, it stacks worse. I think they should change that, so Inksaber Sub doesn't help Torpedo as much. And then increase Torpedo to 65% of its ink tank. And then maybe just, like, reduce the tracking points where it'll home in on opponents a little bit, something like that. But basically, like, make Torpedoes so that you cannot spam them anywhere near as much as right now. I think nerfing the Inksaber Sub curve and then making it 65% of your ink tank instead of 60 would just overall make it a lot harder to spam. Oh wait, sorry. I think I'm my mistake here. This one is 65%. Make it 70%. My bad. But change it there, and the fact that I couldn't even remember that it was 65 just shows how much you can throw the Torpedo. And then probably just make it 200 points for special. I don't think 210 is necessary because Torpedo is part of what's getting the armor that much anyway. And if they just nerf Torpedo, I think it'll be fine. Just, they don't even really need to change Torpedo just too much. Just like, make it so you can't spam them so much. You can throw so many Torpedo. If they just make it so you could not throw as much Torpedo, it would be so much better. And also, Chem's Undercover as a whole is just basically the reason so many weapons are unviable or way lower than they think they are. Like, this weapon alone dictates so much of what is good in the game right now. For example, this weapon is like the core thing holding rollers and blasters back. Without this thing, both of them would raise significantly because this thing just shuts down any option they have. So in general, I just think they should really nerf the Torpedo spam and slightly increase the points for special. The main weapon is still horseshit, no one cares about it. But for God's sakes, they just made it so you could spam more Torpedoes this patch with Blast Stage Effort, essentially. Especially when you are losing, which is when it's most relevant. So like, just nerf the ever-living hell out of Torpedo ink efficiency. Make it really hard to throw a bot. Alright, that's what I think. That's the two strongest weapons right now. Let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see for the patch? Honestly, I think the meta is pretty fine right now. I just really want mainly Chem's Undercover to be nerfed. Mini's okay, but they should tone it down. We're nearing the end of patches, so hopefully we can get some justice done to these two weapons. And I'll see you all in another video. Bye-bye.